We want to resolve this question here. That was the s exponent 2 plus 1 everything over what? S plus 3 all into bracket raised to the power 3 into a partial fraction, right? So that is the most important thing. Now, how to resolve that into a partial fraction? You have a very simple and a straightforward here. So you have a video on the simplicity. What I mean by the simplicity is that whereby you have only a linear factor, a straightforward answer at the denominator here without any exponent, and the one with the quadratic. I will link that video in the description so you may consider watching that. But here, this is what we are calling what a repeated root, right? So why are we calling that a repeated? This is what a repeated what root here. So what it means here is that, or maybe a repeated factor. Is that okay? So what it means that you can see that everything here raised to the power what 3. Right? That tells you that this thing is happening what 3 times. Is that okay? So this one happens what 3 consecutive times. So here we are going to have the first one, that's the x plus 1. Right? So this is the day 1. And then day 2 you had the x plus 1 exponent 2. That's the second one. And then finally you had the s plus 1 plus 3, right? So s plus 3, right? So s plus 3, everything raised to the power 3, right? So this test means that it's being repeated what 3 times. So the first denominator takes the day 1, this one takes the day 2, and then this one takes the day 3. Is that okay? So once you're able to have that here, then we are free to go. So we know that at the top here we are going to look for some constant. So let's replace that by just a variable a plus b as well as c, right? So we are just simplify this thing into a simple form like this. So the idea is that this is something that we know how to solve, right? So this is just if you have the idea of a fraction 1 on 2 plus any other fraction that you can think of. This is the simplicity. So the additions of a fraction, of course, you need to find the least common multiple, right? So the least common multiple of these two, then you proceed from that. So converting this idea to this point here, that's what we are going to use to solve these 3 fractions. Is that okay? So the question here is that what will be the LCM of these 3 people? The denominators, so the guys are the down here, this is the first person, second person, and third person. What will be the LCM? Because the reason why we are finding LCM, this is just an addition of what a fraction, right? So the LCM is going to be what the s plus 3. Why here? Because this thing can be found the s exponent 3. This thing, everything is being raised to the power 1, right? So this thing is being raised to the power 2. And then finally this is being raised to the power 3. So all of them can be found in this LCM. So what do you do if you had the LCM, the least common multiple here? So this one goes into that and then use the answer to multiply the top one. So if this one goes into that, we are going to have a first of all, let's bring the number here, right? So the a here. So if this one, we take this one out of this, or maybe we can find the s plus 3 out of this one here, then we are going to left with s plus 2 plus 3, right? So plus 3 exponent 2, right? Meaning that we are taking one of these things out. So here I can imagine what you are going to get at the rest of this portion. So here you are going to have this one goes into that, we are left with what, then use the answer to multiply the top one, right? So this one goes to that, we are having what, that is the s plus 3 everything, right? So that is what we are left with what 1 here, and then use that answer multiply by the top one. So of course we have the number in front of the variables, and then finally this one goes into this 1, then use the 1 to multiply the c, so which is exactly c, right? So this is how simple you have to proceed. So on the left hand side here we are just having what the s squared there plus 1 everything on what s plus 3 all raised to the power 3. Is that okay? So what are we going to do on this point? What are we looking for? Where are we heading towards to? We want to determine the values of this A, B, and then C, right? So what do you do here? We don't have any business doing with the guys that are down here. Here you can see that they are the same, right? We don't need anything at the down here. So we are going to equate the top one. So equating the top one, that's the numerator, that's the technical name of this one, right? So here we are equating the top one, that's what the x plus s exponent 2 plus 1, everything is equal to a or raised to the power s plus 3 exponent 2 plus b s plus 3 and then plus plus c. Is that okay? The reason why we are equating only the top one is that we want to determine the values of the a, b, and the c. So here we proceed from this point. So how do you do that? if you are someone on this channel, I think you should be able to continue from all this point here, right? But if you have any question, you are watching this thing as a newcomer, maybe you will consider subscribing to the channel so that anytime you post a video like this, you may have the notification. Okay, from this point, we know that this guy is being raised to the power exponent 2, so we have to expand this bracket, right? So here we are having what? The x squared and then plus 1, everything is equal to a here. Expanding this one here, the short way is that you square the first one, that's the x squared here, and then this multiplied by this will give you more 6, and then 6 multiplied by this one, that's about plus 6x, right? And then you square finally this one, so positive 3 square will give you positive 9, right? And then plus plus bx, and then 3, everything plus c. If you don't know how to do that short form here, I would advise you to expand this thing into 2, right? That is what the s plus 3, and then multiply by what? S plus 3, right? You arrive at the same answer, right? Okay, so multiply this one by this, and then that was the x squared. This multiplied by this will give me positive 3s, and then this multiplied by this will give me positive 3s, and then finally this one multiplied by this will give me 9. These and these are the same, right? So here we are having s squared and then plus or plus 9s plus 6s, right? So plus 6s, this plus this one will give me 6s, and then plus 9, right? So this is just the same thing that as I got, in this bracket. But maybe I would advise you to learn this, right? This is very simple. You can just go back and go and check that. Okay, now here we can take off the bracket. So let's see how to take off this bracket here. Taking off the bracket means that we are going to use this number here, this guy here, to multiply everything in the bracket here to the same thing. Use the b to multiply everything in the bracket. So here you have the x squared plus 1, that is equal to this one multiplied by this will give you a x squared, and this one multiplied by this will give you 6ax, right? So this one multiplied by this will give us 9 plus or positive 9a. Okay, now from here that will give us bx, and then this one multiplied by this will give us 3b, and then finally we have this, right? So what are we going to do here? What we are going to do is that we are going to group siblings. So what I mean by the siblings here is that those that are x squared should go on one side, those that are carrying the x will also be on one side, and then finally those without the x will also be on one side. So here you can see that only this guy has the x squared, right? So here you are from different family. So here too we are going to have let's go for the x family, right? So this is the x here, this is another x here, so let's bring with the x family a 6ax, and then plus bx. So those without the x will also be in one family. So this guy here we have the 9a plus 3b, and then plus c. They are also coming from one family, right? So this is how simple you group that. So at this point we are having the equation sign here, right? So this is the equal to sign. That tells me that this guy here is equal to everything that is available here. Now if you are from the x square family, then your partner is here, right? So that we are going to equate their their values, right? So if you have a value in maybe a different country here, that should be the same person in what in the another country. Is that okay? So you have two different countries. So this guy here, your value here, what I mean by the value is the number that is attached to the x squared here in this case here. So this guy, your value will be what? Just 1, right? So this guy has 1 here. Now maybe before that, let's group these two people, right? Let's group these two people. So you have the s squared plus 1, that is equal to a s squared. We are not doing anything to this guy, but here we can see the x here. So that means that we can factor out. So that's what I'm calling the grouping. So you have the 6a and then plus b here, everything multiplied by x, right? So just the same thing. That tells me that everything are coming from the x family, and then plus or this 9a plus or 3b, and then plus or plus c, right? Okay, so perfect. Now we can proceed. So here you are from what? A different country. So your siblings are what in this country. So what I mean by that, these people are before the equal sign. These guys are also after the equal sign. So but the values are the same. What I mean by the values are the same here is that the number that is here is the same as the number. If you have you bear a same name here, that same name must be the same because of this equal to sign here. So the number of this one, the number 13 to the x squared is just 1. So this means that by comparing, right? So we are doing some comparison here. So comparing, it means that this a here is equal to 1. Have you see? The reason is that this guy is x squared, there's an x squared here. So the number here, which is 1, and then this guy is carrying the a. That tells us straightforward that a is equal to 1. So what about the b, the x here, right? So this x here, can you see? Do you have any x in this case? We don't have any x here. That tells us that a is a plus b here is equal to 0 because the 0 we don't have any value in any country. Is that okay? These people don't have that. And then finally we have this one. Those that are not from any of the x family. So plus 3b, right? Plus 3b and then plus c here is equal to this guy here, the number here, that is 1, right? So you can just name this one to be equation 1, then this thing can be equation 2, and here can be equation 3. Is that okay? Very, very simple and straightforward. Once you follow the lay down procedure that we are doing here, but here straightforward, you can see that if you have, what are we looking for? We are looking for the values of the a, b, and the c. So we had the a to be equal to 1. So with this a to be equal to 1, we can easily determine the values of the b. So we just need to take this guy and come and replace the a here, right? So from what? This equation 2. So from what? Equation what? Equation 2. So okay. From this equation 2 here, what we are going to do here is that we have the a to be equal to 1. That tells me 6 multiplied by 1, and then plus b here to be equal to 0. So this one could be 6 plus b here equal to 0. So our b here is subtract 6 from both sides of the equation. That tells me that your b here is equal to negative 6, right? So that is how simple you find the b. Once you have the values of the a and the b and the c, we have b here, a here, we can easily determine the values of the c by just replacing the a and b in the third equation. I will leave this thing for you to try this and give me the answer for the c in the comment section below, right? So once you have your values of the a and the b as well as the c, you just need to go to your fraction. So we have at the beginning of the question, we had the question to be, we splitted the question to be something on this form, right? So this is what we are adding. So once you have the values of the a, b, and c, you just need to come back and come and replace them, right? So here you had the a to be equal to 1, right? So 1 here, so 1 on what? S plus 3, and then here should be, what is the b? The b was what? Negative 6. So that is what? Negative 6 on what? S plus 3, everything squared here, plus what? Give me the values of the c and then replace that. I wish you can tell me so that I will write it here. Is that okay? So maybe tell me, whisper into my ear in the comment section below, right? So s plus what? Plus 3 here, everything on what? Raised to the power 3, right? And then give me your answer here. Is that okay? So here this negative goes away, right? So this one vanish. Here we are going to have 1 on what? 1 over s plus 3 minus 6 on what? S plus 3, right? And then finally this portion.